Good afternoon, my friends. How are we? You're all very welcome along to this afternoon's show. Pleasure to be with you as always. Looking forward to catching up on the weekend's action. Looking ahead to next weekend's game against Brentford. And of course, trying to figure out, one, who the next Liverpool manager is going to be. Are we going to get the boys' contracts renewed? Well, we do have some information on that we're going to go through over the next hour or so. And look at me. 2 streams in a row, not on mute. I mean, surely there's an award somewhere. That's all I'm saying. You know, they're dishing out Super Bowls willy-nilly. Maybe they should give me an award for not being on mute. I feel like I need a badge at the very minimum. So we all good. I hope you enjoyed last night's Super Bowl. If you stayed up to watch it, it was a late finish, about 4 a.m. I think. But it was worth it. It was a pretty good end to the game. Hello everybody from Punjab in the house as well. Crypto, how are we, sir? Michael Manning, lovely to see you. And as always, Andrew Wright, pleasure. David, Colin, Pontus and everybody else that's in the chat nice and early doors. I hope you're all in fine form today. It's weird not having a midweek game when there's European games on. But sure, look, we'll at least get to sit back and be interested observers as to what's going on in the world of European football. Champions League tomorrow and Wednesday. And of course, Thursday's the round or the playoff round in the Europa League. Liverpool safely tucked away into the next round, and we get to see who gets knocked out between those Champions League clubs and the second place finishes in the Europa League group stages. 4 a.m. is peak Craig hours. Well, when you're right, Lukey boy. It was absolutely peak Craig hours. Yeah, I was wide awake at 4 a.m. I won't even profess to be tired, bro. I wasn't. I was way awake watching it. Look, loads to get through. Let's start off with a little bit of good news for Mr. Conor Bradley, whose goal against Chelsea has won Liverpool's January Goal of the Month competition. So congratulations to young Conor Bradley, confirmed as Liverpool's January Goal of the Month winner, and a very deserving winner as well. So congratulations to him. Why are people wanting to sell Gakpo? He's quality, said BM Minty Boy, and thank you for your super chat, bro. Why are people wanting to sell him? I don't know. See, this is, I guess, one of the downsides of me not being on social media is I don't really see any of the reaction to stuff like that. I would gather people aren't happy with him and Gravenberch on their performances this season so far. That's kind of the vibe I've been getting from the live chats anyway, Minty. I don't know. I'm certainly not in the mindset of wanting to sell him. I just do think that he and Ryan Gravenberch need to up their game a little bit. Particularly, yeah, I think it's fair to say, if you look at our forward line, Mo, Darwin, Jota, Lucho and Gakpo. Gakpo's probably, at the moment, 5th choice. That's, I think, a fair reflection of what we've seen. But yeah, sometimes people are just a little bit over the top and overreactionary, and no more so than me at the best of times. But I'm trying to learn as I go. I certainly don't want to sell him anyway. It's not in any of the conversations I've been having with my mates or anything like that. So not for me. I do think he needs to be better though. All right, Craig, fingers crossed for Xabi. Absolutely, fingers, toes and everything else. So Matt Law has said Tottenham are extremely confident that Ange Postecoglou will not leave the club for Liverpool. I didn't even think he was an option realistically. Not because he's not good enough, just because he's, safely in a job in the Premier League and in his first season here. So I never really expected Liverpool to look to try and get Ange Postecoglou out of Spurs. But they're just confirmation, I guess, that Spurs are confident that he'll stay. As they should be, to be fair. He's got a job to be doing. What's this one? Gary Neville talking about not wanting Liverpool to win the league. I had Arsenal as champions at the start of the season and not many did, but I still think City at this moment in time look ominous. But Arsenal, I want Arsenal to do it for obvious reasons. I don't want Liverpool to win it. Yeah, because you're a bitter little twat. But we'll move on from that, Gary. As much as it would be a fairy tale for Jurgen Klopp and what it would mean for Liverpool and him, I just think what Arsenal did last season when they sort of crumbled at the end, I would like to see them start the season slowly and be a bit scruffy, be amongst it, but then really hit form in the final third. In the final furlong is when you need it. So Gary Neville there praying that Liverpool or Manchester City don't win the league and that Arsenal do it. I love when people start to show their true colours, the real begrudgery starts to come out. Oh, Gary, no, they're not going to do it, bro. They're not going to do it. Arsenal aren't going to win the league. They're going to do what they always do, which is flatter to deceive, look like they're going to challenge, and then fall away at the end. And if you don't believe me, just have a look at the bookies. The bookies' odds speak volumes for what they think is going to happen. I know people are going to overreact after Arsenal's 6-0 victory against West Ham. And look, it was an incredibly good performance, but West Ham were awful. And I think Arsenal will be here with Liverpool and Manchester City, but I don't see them lasting the pace. But, happy to be proved wrong about that if I am. But for now, I still think Arsenal are a little bit soft. Even though they've beaten us, I still feel they're a little bit soft. They're a little bit lacking in scoring, really. And I know people are going to say 6-0, Craig, but look, 6-0, 6-0. It's a one-game victory and fair play to them. But I don't have any fear of Arsenal. Maybe it's just muscle memory from previous campaigns or whatever, but not for me. And Gary Neville can keep wishing that Liverpool fall away, because that's what he's praying for. He hates when we do anything well, and understandably. Why do many people not want us to win the league? The hate is mental. It's crazy. It's crazy, Tyro. Absolutely nuts. I don't know the answer, mate, other than a lot of people don't seem to like us Liverpool fans or Liverpool or Jurgen Klopp. But leave them to it. We'll concern ourselves with the business of winning games of football and see what happens at the end of the season. But you're right, there's quite a few people who aren't fond of Liverpool or the idea of Liverpool winning the league, but that's what will make it all the sweeter if we can do it, right? What really gets me, though, Tyro, sorry, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to pronounce that, is the mental gymnastics people do to try and justify Manchester City's existence over the likes of Liverpool or an Arsenal winning the league, because they don't want to. They'd rather not have to listen to us or Arsenal fans about winning the league. They'd rather look at a questionable assembled squad and do mental gymnastics to not have to have the discussion about how they're there, or what should happen to Manchester City in those 115 charges. What players do you see leaving when Alonso comes in, if Alonso wants to bring his own players? I don't really expect any manager coming in to want to clear out, because again, like I've said, it's not like these are a poor collection of footballers. Our club has a pretty good group of players. And yes, you would expect any new manager, be it Alonso or somebody else, to have their own ideas about players they'd like to bring in. Depending on, of course, the system that they want to play. Maybe they feel like the current crop we don't have enough to fill 3 centre-backs, as an example, every week. Or maybe he doesn't think we have enough number 10s, perhaps. But I don't know at this moment in time. I certainly wouldn't be looking to sell anyone. But my big concern is the contract situation. And that's what this early stream today is going to be about. So an article that was in the Echo, but starts, I believe, with Football Insider, said Liverpool are said to be planning to undergo fresh contract talks with Mohamed Salah, Virgil van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Sources have repeatedly claimed to the outlet that the trio are open to extending their deals at the Reds, who are currently set to expire in 18 months. It has been said that talks are expected to open once a new manager and sporting director has been appointed. Now, in theory, I've got no issue with any of that. But the last line is the part that worries me. When a new sporting director and manager are appointed, because what we're seeing over the last 24 hours or so is that if it is going to be Xabi Alonso, that is going to be an end-of-season appointment based off what we've seen in the media. Now, I don't think Liverpool can let that happen. I don't think, whether it's Xabi Alonso, Roberto De Zerbi or anybody else, I can't see a world where we can leave it till the end of the season. That's just, it's too risky when you've got 3 prominent players like Mo, Verge and Trent, all in need of a contract renewal, or at least sorting out their contract situation. So that makes me nervous, if I'm being honest with you, because if it was 1 player, you might feel confident you can get that done. But 3 players then inside the last year of their contract, that's pushing it to try and get that done, get it all agreed. And as I've always said, each day and week that goes by, then you're losing leverage in this negotiation because they get closer to leaving on a free. I'll be honest, dropping points to Luton screwed us, said BM Minty Boy. A lot of draws, mate, have cost us over the years. But right now, we are where we are. We're at the top. Yes, Manchester City can go 1 point clear, but we also know we've got Manchester City to come at Anfield in March. So, if we can keep picking up wins, I think others will drop points as well. But it's getting to the nitty-gritty now. We can't be looking to go to Brentford and not get anything but 3 points. It has to be 3 points. Anything less than that now, and we're starting to blink in this game of brinksmanship. Paul, how are we, Paul? Paul Jayward said, Craig, I see Salah and Diaz most likely to leave if Alonso comes in. He plays with 10s more than wingers. So look, regardless of who comes in, I've always been doubtful about an extension for Mohamed Salah. I've been doubtful that the club will get to the number that he'd want. Trent and Verge, I believe, are probably slightly easier extensions to make. But as you've said, mate, it's going to be up to the new manager. But I can't see a new manager coming in and saying they don't want Mohamed Salah, or they don't want Trent, or they don't want Verge. That would be a big call early doors, wouldn't it? Too many draws, Craig. 6, and I can name 4 of them. Should have won easily. Yeah, look, draws have always been our Achilles heel, Arian. You know, we should roll the dice a bit more. You're better off, if you've 6 draws, you're better off winning 3, losing 3. You'd be up on points. So, yeah, sometimes I feel like draws have cost us over the years. Can't argue about it. It's a fact. Certainly more so than losses anyway. Did I watch the Super Bowl? Yes, Alex, I did, my friend. You just knew they'd find a way to pull it out. Just knew that somehow Mahomes would find a way, even right at the death, to just eke out the win. That's what he does. That's why he's one of the greatest, and that's why they're now 3-time Super Bowl champions. Liverpool win the league. I'm very, very excited for City to fall away, said Raz. So I don't buy into the same fear factor with Manchester City that a lot of people seemingly have this season. I don't think that they are the same force that they were in recent years. So for me, look, they're going to be there or thereabouts, but the amount of people seemingly willing to roll over and just give them the title is weird. Luton and Brighton game we should have won, said Zakir. Look, there's no point looking backwards. It's not going to do any good. All we can take care of right now is what happens between now and the end of the season. No point looking back, no point torturing yourself, no good can come of it. And that's the rule that I try to keep in life. You know, we all have regrets. We all have things we wish we could have done, should have done differently, but you can't change it. All you can do is learn from it. And that's what I hope the group do. Learn from it, move on, and manage the games better between now and the end of the season, because it is getting to the pinnacle of the campaign right now. And I don't know if you guys feel this, but we were talking about this on Top of the League and kind of behind the scenes as well. December, January, it's been a very weird couple of months for football. It feels like interest in the sport is almost waning a little bit, and people are either fed up of all the shenanigans or just tired or something, but the interest just hasn't been the same. So hopefully we can get our shit together and go on a run between now and the end of the season and try and finish as strongly as possible, because right now, as we sit here, Monday, 12th of February, we have a place in every single competition we started the season in, it's a luxury that not many can say. So we got to keep knocking off the wins and seeing where we end up. Would I take Alex Grimaldo to replace Robbo? No. But I would take him to replace Costas and then let him and Robbo fight it out. That would be a situation that I'd be very happy for. Yeah, imagine having those two as your left-sided defenders. I think it would be amazing. Grimaldo, we spoke about him a lot over the last few days, and it's definitely somebody I'm a huge fan of. Great set-piece taker as well. So yeah, I'd love Grimaldo, but I wouldn't replace Robbo with him. I'd rather replace Costas and let him duke it out with Robbo. Maybe we missed European football. Don't know, mate. Don't know. It's not just Liverpool. It's right across the board. The whole interest in football is down. You know, everybody's numbers are down. Even the interest in written pieces and everything else. It's just been a strange couple of months. Personally, I had enough last season of staying in all 4 competitions till the end. Just kills the following season. Well, that wasn't last season, Chris. It was the season before, I think. Normally I get you, but this season it's Klopp's last year, so we've got to try and go out and win as many games as we can and keep ourselves in as many trophies as we can. We know we've got a final coming up later this month against Chelsea. Hopefully, we can get that one over the line. Nice to get a trophy in early doors. And then FA Cup, we've got a home draw as well now against Southampton, so that's not too bad. We'll find out who we get in the Europa League soon enough as well over the next few weeks. And then, you pencil in March and that game against Manchester City in the Premier League. VAR and blue cards is putting fans off. Well, the blue card stuff I think we can all put out of our minds for the time being. I can't see a world that that's going to come in now. It's been ridiculed and laughed at by coaches, fans, pundits, media, everybody, because it's such a silly idea. So I think we can stop worrying about that one. But yes, VAR has certainly been a factor this season that has seen a lot of people just, I won't say fall out of love with the game, but certainly love it less, and I would include myself in that. I'm not afraid to say that VAR has certainly tainted my enjoyment of football, particularly this season. Doesn't help when Liverpool are the team that have been impacted the most by incorrect VAR decisions with 4. That definitely hasn't helped us. So, but then again, we're not allowed to say that, are we? Because we're just told to shut up and stop complaining and Liverpool and all these other lazy tropes that are just that lazy. Mortal Death said, do you think the January transfer window could be scrapped if clubs are afraid to make purchases? So, how do I say this? Right, I'm trying to word this in my head. Give me a sec. I'm not sure if this January was a once-off because of obviously profit and sustainability rules in the Premier League and those charges that were labelled at Everton and potentially at Nottingham Forest. And obviously the investigation to Manchester City still to come. So I think if we get to a point where Premier League football aligns with the European system of FFP, which is what they're trying to bring in, then I think we'll get a better balance and bigger clubs will have some more money to spend, and that will kind of turbocharge the transfer window in January. Because this year, when the Premier League don't spend money, the money doesn't trickle down around the rest of Europe. So it was the quietest window I can remember in my adult life. In a January transfer window, it was really, 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 really quiet. But also weirdly refreshing, if I'm being honest with you, because I didn't feel we really needed to do much in the market. So the fact that we didn't do any business and nor did any of the other big clubs really made it a bit easier to kind of just go, okay, well, everyone is as they were. Let's just knuckle down now and see what we can get on between now and the end of the season. I don't want to knock out Leverkusen in the final. Maybe possible moves can be sabotaged. I wouldn't worry about that, mate. Just take care of winning trophies and leave it at that. I don't have a fear of Leverkusen either. I know they're in a great moment at the minute, but I still think we've a better squad and a better team. So if we play Leverkusen in the Europa League, so be it. If it's in the final, what a story that would be, the potential handover then. Xabi Alonso leaving one to go to the other perhaps, and then Jurgen of course saying his goodbyes. It would be it'd be a weird feeling. Be a weird feeling that night. Morning lads, myself and the missus are celebrating our 2-year wedding anniversary. Congratulations to you both, mate. That's awesome. Much love to you and your good lady. And congratulations on your wedding anniversary. That's brilliant to hear. Glad to hear. It's 2 years in the books, well in, and here's to many more. For myself and the missus, next month it will be, oh God, this is where I get in trouble, isn't it? 17 years married. Yes, there you go, I got out of that one. Yeah, 2007. Yeah, 17 years married for us, and then in October of next year, we're 25 years together, which sounds scary, right? 25 years, more than half my life. So yeah, congratulations to you and your missus, mate. Do you think, Craig, who do you think is the GOAT in the music industry? Oh, you've said Michael Jackson. God, I don't know. Depends who you ask, really. Like, for me, my answer would probably be like Prince, probably, to be honest. I can understand Michael Jackson's, I can understand Beatles, I can understand most, because it's a generational thing. But for me, pound for pound, instrument for instrument, talent for talent, I would say Prince would be the greatest of all time. But that's just my own personal opinion. It definitely is not Eminem. Lads, come on now. Eminem's amazing and I love my rap music, but come on now. We're talking the real big boys. What have we got? Alright, Craig, hope you're doing well. Have a great day. I did hear that Trent is getting a big pay rise than Salah and Van Dijk. I'm surprised by that. What's your thoughts on it? Well, I don't think Salah should get any pay rise. That's my thoughts on him. I think if he's willing to renew on the terms he's on, brilliant. But I certainly don't think he deserves another pay rise. Trent, you would expect to get a pay rise. You know, one, he's now vice captain of the club, so that will in itself probably equate to a little pay rise. And then he's at a point in his career now where, yeah, this is probably one of his big contracts, so I would expect him to take a pay rise. Verge, do you know what? In all honesty, I'd be the same answer with Verge as I would be with Mo. I don't think they're getting better at this point of their careers, whereas I think Trent still has some... He's not into his peak yet, but he's getting there, pretty much entering into it now, actually. So I would have no issues with him getting a pay increase. But the other two, I think, you know, increase them, no. Give them what they're on, maybe. But that's my honest answer, you know. I don't like football that it's almost assumed that every contract has to be more. I don't think that's fair. It should be a reflection of how you're playing and what you're doing. And I don't think Virgil and Mohamed Salah are at their peak anymore. A bit late joining. Read somewhere to say that Liverpool have approached Alonso. Is that true? Well, yes, there's multiple reports to say that Liverpool have made an approach to Alonso and that he's the overwhelming favourite to take over at the end of the season. But some of the questions are, have we made an approach and he said come back in the summer? Or, because I don't like the idea of it not being sorted until the summer. I think it leaves us with too much to do in a short period of time. What do you guys think about that? Like, for me, you can't just go, okay, well, we'll leave everything till the summer. Because then you've got potentially 3 contract renewals. You've got to bring in new players. You've got to give the manager time to assess the squad. It feels like a lot of work would need to be done in a very short period of time. And it would leave us vulnerable. That would be my take on it. So, ideally, I'd like to get somebody in, at least agreed. You know, I've said this before. If we could agree a deal with Alonso in the next few weeks and then everyone just gets back to work until the summertime, the club can start looking for the sporting director that would work with the new manager. They could then start to at least put together somewhat of a list of potential targets, knowing what system the new manager would want to play. That would work for me. Because you totally understand the respectful nature of Alonso and Klopp having jobs to do. You know, Alonso still has a league to try and win, a European trophy to try and win, and the German Cup to try and win. So I totally understand the being respectful to Leverkusen. We should be doing everything now, said Dylan Geary. The Void Dude said, get it sorted sooner rather than later. This is already sorted. It'll be Alonso, can't announce it for obvious reasons. I think so as well, Stephen. Now, I've got nothing to say that that's true, but my gut feeling is the same as your good self. I think it's everybody knows. That's what I think. But look, we'll wait and see. We want the actual announcement, like. But I'm with you, mate. I think it's a done deal. Salah contract needs to be dealt with soon because it would be stupid to let him go on a free when he can get at least 150 million from. Yeah, but the idea of him going on a free won't happen for at least another year and 3-4 months. So I would say we have till the summer to get Salah sorted one way or the other. But I certainly wouldn't be letting it drag on through the summer transfer window. You'd want a resolution to it one way or the other before the summer, at least knowing where he's at or where the club's at, and knowing if it's if there's a difference in valuations there, if it's a difference that can be overcome, or if the valuations are so different that it's honestly not going to work. And I don't know the answer to it. So, like everybody else, I'm as intrigued and nervous by it as the rest of you. Alonso might have something like, don't announce it yet, who knows. Could be. Look, that's That's a possibility, but like I've said many times, uncertainty is nobody's friend in these scenarios. So I think, I hope, like we all think, that maybe, behind the scenes, there's an outline agreement or something. But I got a bit nervous yesterday when I read Rolfs, who's one of the, I think, directors at Leverkusen, saying that he expects Xabi Alonso to be at Leverkusen next season. He said, yes, I'm sure. One reason is the contract. The other thing is how comfortable he feels, the family, himself, and that he knows the club has everything he needs. He also has a very good team, a very good perspective next year. There's no change in the team. We'll definitely have a top team available next season. They're all points that, in addition to contracts, coaches like Xabi, but also players who are of interest, often stay with us. So he's confident that Alonso stays there next season. I'm certainly more confident that he leaves than stays, but let's wait and see. The only reason I think that Alonso wouldn't come to Liverpool is if he doesn't like what he hears when he talks to FSG. But I think everybody at this point knows that he's the fit. He's the one that most of us think will be the successor to Jurgen. We love you, Craig. Thank you. That's really kind of you, Keiju. Appreciate you. Never get tired of nice things, dude. Honestly, thank you. Don't forget as well, by the way, my friends, is it this one? Yeah, if you are in Boston, March 22nd, it's coming up really soon. I think about 5.5, 6 weeks now till we're in Boston. So Friday, March 22nd, you can find the tickets at ticketmaster.com. We're going to be at the beautiful Foundation Room in the Citizens House of Blues right beside Fenway Park. And if you'd like to come and see us, the link is in the description, or you can just go on to Ticketmaster and search Anfield Agenda. We'd love to see you there. Would you sell Salah for 70 to 80 million, or would you rather give him a new contract? Give him a new contract. I think he's worth more than that money, Sander. 100 to 120 million is my valuation of Mo. But rather than get 70 to 80, I'd probably give him a new deal. Look, my preference is to give him a new deal. I want Mo to stay for another couple of seasons, but I don't want to give him a pay rise. I don't know if that's a stance that couldn't be settled, because, I expect him to want a pay rise. I just don't think he deserves it. Will the Boston show be live streamed? Absolutely not, because some of the stuff that will be being spoken about at the Boston show is not going to be fit for being streamed, because it's, how do I say this? What happens in Boston stays in Boston. That's what I'm going to say, because people are going to ask me questions about the industry. People are going to ask me questions that, need to remain private. So that's what will happen. They shall, same as the Dublin show. We spoke openly, candidly, back and forth, ourselves in the audience, on topics from the manager to FSG to other fan channels to everything, and it stayed in the room. And I'll always respect the people that came to the Dublin show for that, because it was a really honest, frank conversation, and I enjoyed it. I live alone, Craig. You're my best daily friend. God bless. Oh, Mark, I'm glad you're with us. Let me say that, Mark. And you're never alone, bro. I'm somebody who's quite a hermit as well, mate. I haven't gone outside in a month now. Not leaving outside the door. But, well, that's a lie. I've gone to the bin, which is outside the front door. But, yeah, this is my existence. Chatting football, watching football, talking about football with you guys. And I look forward to both streams every day. 4 o'clock, 8:30. Can't wait. And you're never on your own, mate. We're always here for you for a chat or to shoot the breeze. Would I ever visit South Africa? I certainly hope so. Yeah, I certainly hope so. I've mentioned it many times. It's definitely on my bucket list of countries I'd love to visit in life, regardless of the content world. I mean, South Africa, my first memories of it were watching Sun City, The World's Strongest Man, with my father when I was growing up. Nick said, I'm a loner too. Plenty of friends, prefer my own company. I'm like that as well, Nick. See, I'm an only child, so I grew up with no brothers and sisters. And I had to entertain myself a lot of the time. So I'm very comfortable in my own presence. Yeah, definitely, man. I don't One of my best friends described me as a man of the people who doesn't like people. And I think that sums me up quite well. I'm not a very sociable person. I like to stay with my family. I like to stay with a close group of friends, keep my circle small. And I've got trust issues as well. Have I ever watched cricket? Yeah, of course. Some of the 2020 is awesome. Yeah. I wouldn't watch test cricket, I won't lie to you, but sometimes, yeah, absolutely, I'll watch a bit of 2020. I watched the Women's World 2020 final as well. I thought it was really entertaining. I thought it was good crack. If we bring in Alonso and play 3-4-2-1, where's Lucho fitting in? I don't know. Honestly, I know that's such a cop-out of an answer, but there will be people that probably won't fit into a different system because obviously this team was assembled with 4-3-3 in mind. So I don't know is the honest answer, but you'd hope somewhere because Lucho's started to really fire again. Craig, would you consider giving a talk to secondary students in your area? 100%. Niall, giving back things like that, or teaching the next generation how to edit or do a podcast or doing workshops, stuff like that. Absolutely, I'd do it, mate, in a heartbeat. My goal in life is to give back to the people who've helped put me where I'm going to, and I won't forget what side my bread's buttered on. So absolutely, man, stuff like that's always a pleasure. I don't know what the fuck use I'd be, to be honest with you, but certainly I'd have no problem answering questions or I've done these things before. I've done workshops at lunchtime in offices with people who've asked me to speak to the staff and stuff. I don't know why, but yeah, I'm always happy to do it. Versatile players fit in anywhere. There we go, Ian. I'm with you on that, bro. If you're good enough, we'll find somewhere for you in the team. What's this one? Bear with me 1 second. Oh no, that was from yesterday. Sorry, folks. I'm just scrambling through. So Ruben Amorim. I know we went through this yesterday, but apparently Barcelona are interested in him, and it's going to cost 30 million euro in compensation if they want to get him at a Sporting Lisbon, which is a lot of money for a manager. Yeah, it's an incredible lot of money. What's this now? Oh, so one of the questions about the blue card, sorry to bring it back up, but just to go over for a sec. One of the questions that everybody had asked of the blue card is what happens if a goalkeeper receives a blue card? And the answer is this. So if a goalkeeper receives a blue card, teams will be forced to pick between putting an outfield player in goal or making a permanent substitution under the planned new sin bin laws. And that's from the Telegraph. So it's probably what we thought, to be fair. You either throw in an outfield player or you make a substitution. But look, hopefully we don't ever have to find out because this blue card stuff is an absolute nonsense that nobody wants. And as Klopp and Ange Postecoglou and everybody else said, just get the stuff you have right, simplify it, let's not overcomplicate football and sort out the handball laws, the offside rules and all these other things that we need fixing before we start wondering about what colour cards to be lashing out. Would you take Rodrigo, as in Real Madrid Rodrigo? Absolutely. Yes, I would. I think he's a fine young player. What did you think of Curtis playing at right back? Dare I say, Xander, touch of the Stevie G's there, bro. Reminded me of when he went back to right back in Istanbul and did a job to help us. Yeah, I thought fair play. Again, Curtis Jones showing his versatility, and I think he did quite well in the role what he was required to do it. So yeah, well done, Curtis, and well done, Jurgen, for finding a solution. Thomas Tuchel is so overrated. 100% agree. I don't get the Tuchel love. And I'd always feel like we just got a watered down version of the manager we just got rid of. We didn't get rid of. The manager that we've just departed with. So yes, I don't have any interest in another German. Whether that's Thomas Tuchel, whether that's Julian Nagelsmann, whether that's Hansi Flick, or whether that's Scratch and Sniff. I don't really have any interest in another German manager at the moment. We already had the best one, have the best one, and everything else would just feel like a downgrade. Barca can't afford him. Tuchel will be free soon. Well, I think Hansi Flick has put himself forward for the Barca job, and some reports have said that he's even learning Spanish. So maybe that he'll be an option. I think Roberto De Zerbi would be, if I was the Barcelona chairman, I'd be looking at Roberto De Zerbi as an option. Thoughts on Wirtz and Schlotterbeck? Wirtz is incredible, and any club that signed Florian Wirtz will be very lucky. Schlotterbeck, solid, but doesn't excite me, but solid. Brett reckons that Alonso's go nowhere except Liverpool. Absolutely, Brett. I'm with you. I think we are probably the only club that could get him at a Leverkusen now. Who would you rather take, Wirtz or Nkapie, if Alonso came in? Wirtz, because I'd prefer Inacio over Nkapie. If you're looking for your left-sided centre-back, I'd prefer that we went to Sporting and tried to get Inacio, personally. But that's just my own preference. Craig, do you think when this Chelsea side click, they're going to be scary? No. I think they'll always have inconsistency. And I think, look, they're starting to show that they can put a run together or some consistency together. But I still think with Todd Bowley at the helm, they're going to be scattergun. And I think he won't be able to help himself by interfering and making some more questionable financial decisions. So, yeah, they'll have periods where they'll do well, but ultimately, I think it'll come down to the domestic cups for them this season, whether they qualify for Europe or not. I can't see them doing it in the league. There's a big gap. They're already in one final, so, if they beat us in the League Cup final, and that's Pochettino's European promise fulfilled. But, Bowley really wants that Champions League money. A return of Brendan Rodgers? Nah, pass, thank you. Leave him up there in Celtic. No interest in Brendan Rodgers returning. Xander said, I've never been more confident in it for a final than this one. Poch will crumble under the pressure. 100 times loading said the sporting director of Leverkusen stated Alonso was 100% saying your thoughts. We touched on it earlier on. Let's see what happens in the summer. I understand his perspective, of course. I'm respectful, he's their manager. But I think he's fooling himself. I think, personally, just my take, that if Liverpool make the big play for Alonso, that he's going to take it, because it's a potential once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Not just to come manage Liverpool, but to walk into a team that doesn't need much, isn't in crisis, and has a great squad. I think, it genuinely is a rarity in football for a manager to get this opportunity. Normally, if a manager's departing, it's because something's happened. Players aren't playing for him, tactics aren't right, crowd have turned on them. Not the case at Liverpool. It's going to be a really appealing job to somebody. Would you rather Klopp stay or win the Prem? Win the Prem, 100%. I want Klopp to stay, but he's made his decision. We respect that. And now we just try and finish as strongly as possible. But, again, it's all about trophies. Liverpool exists to win trophies, so I want Liverpool to win the Premier League. And then I want Liverpool to win the Europa League, the League Cup, the FA Cup, back into the Champions League next season. That would be, I don't want an anticlimactical finish to this season. I don't want us to be just winning domestic cups. I want us to have one of the two big ones, and that's either going to be the Europa League or the Premier League. We have to win one of those two, or this season's going to feel like a failure. For me, I'm only speaking on my perspective. Because, the year where we did really well, we lost to Real Madrid in the final, we were pipped by Manchester City for the title, and we won the two domestic cups. As good as it was, it felt like a real anticlimax, because, yay, the domestic cups, but it's not a Premier League or a European Cup, is it? Do you think Bellingham will come to Liverpool ever? No, I don't. I think he's going to probably, unless something goes drastically wrong, I can see him being at Real Madrid for the next 7, 8, 9, 10 years, honestly. He seems very at home there. And he's a superstar. So no, I see him staying there for the foreseeable. If Kelleher could consistently play like he did at the weekend, it would be a huge shame to lose him in the summer. I'm glad people are starting to give Queeveen some of his flowers because he deserves them. I know that he has had a couple of shaky-ish moments this year, but I also don't think people understand enough what it's like to be a backup goalkeeper. I, unfortunately, during my own playing days, had one particular season where I went up a level and I had to fight for the number one spot. And for the start, I was losing that battle. So I can only imagine what it's like at a professional level to come in and try to replace somebody of the calibre of Alisson Becker. But I think Queeveen has shown more often than not that, yeah, okay, he's still not perfect, but he has all the tools, all the attributes to be a top keeper. And he made a couple of very big one-on-one saves against Burnley. And I'm glad that people have been complimentary of him, because it's not an easy thing to come in off the bench and be a backup goalkeeper. Who do you think our second keeper option could be if Kelleher leaves? Honestly, Tanya, I'd like us to try and buy Trafford. Won't happen, but he's a cracking keeper. And young enough that you could probably sell him the vision of eventually taking over from Alisson in 3 or 4 years' time. But yeah, after that, I don't know. It's a real head scratcher. He's got to be one of the best number twos in the Premier League, though, Kelleher. Like, I think that's fair. If you look around the Premier League, I mean, I would say he's in the top 2 or 3 backup keepers. We'll need to play better than not good on Saturday. We just need to get the result. However we play is irrelevant. It's the result at the end of the match that counts. If we win it with a scaldy last minute deflected goal, I don't mind, as long as we leave Brentford with 3 points. Only one better is Ortega or Ramsdale. I'm not sure on Ortega. Ramsdale, I think, look, it's criminal that he's a number 2. I don't think Ray is better than Ramsdale personally, but yeah, they have decent options there, Arsenal. Do you feel we're open at times and give the opposition too many good chances? Yes, I think we're at our most vulnerable in possession, and I said this for about 3 years now. I'm at my most concerned when we're attacking, because how many times have we seen one misplaced pass and us be countered and ripped open? So, yes, I do think we're a bit too porous at times. I think Virgil needs to stop some of the, how do I call this? He needs to get his boots a bit dirtier and his shorts a bit dirtier at times. A bit more commitment from not standing off and going and taking somebody face on. I don't like when he backs off. I don't like when he just tries to time his runs perfectly to make the decision at the last second. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But defending from set pieces has been nowhere near good enough. I hate the zonal marking system. I never liked it. I hated it when Rafa Benitez was at Liverpool. Still hate it to this day. It just gives somebody who gets a run on you an unfair advantage. And how is a defender in a standing position supposed to be able to leap with somebody who gets a 2 or 3 yard run? It just doesn't work for me. I'm old school. I'm very much a case of, he's your man. If he puts the ball in the net, then we're coming and you're going to explain to me why you didn't pick up your man. Because we know who's to blame. I think with the areas, there's too much opportunity for people to get in between the half spaces of who's defending what space. And as I said, once you get a run on somebody, you're in trouble. I'm also really old school in that anything near the 6 yard box from a set piece, never mind your defenders, your goalkeeper should be taking that. Man, ball, everything. Just, that's my area. And if anything comes in there, I'm getting to it. We lost to Madrid because of his technique when Valverde passed it to Vinicius. We so many times get caught in possession. I say it on watch-alongs week after week after week. It's just one slack pass. That's all it takes. And then we've committed bodies forward. Trent's out of position. Then teams, if they can get their head up and play a ball into the channel, there's space there to be exploited. And it happens quite a bit. Now, some teams are better at exploiting it than others. Like we've spoken about, Arsenal very good at pinpointing the area vacated by Trent when he goes in attack. Craig, you seem angry. You okay? I seem angry? I don't know where you're getting angry from, mate. Nothing angry about me today whatsoever. So yeah, no, all good. No anger today. Only have anger when I get the silly questions or the baiting. But nah, man, I'm good. I don't know if you're on a wind up or not, but no anger here today. Haven't got the energy to be angry yet. It's too early in the day. What did you think about Mbappe's brother in the PSG Youth League? I don't give a fuck about his brother. Yeah, I don't care about Mbappe's brother or how he's getting on at youth level. He doesn't play for Liverpool, so I don't really mind. I did see, however, speaking of brothers, I did see Joe Bellingham score a very good goal for Sunderland. Could have easily been his elder brother scoring it. Is there an update on Szoboszlai's injury? Not that I'm aware of, my friend. No, not that I'm aware of. The last update we had was when he was having a scan over in Hungary and then coming back to Kirby. And that's the last I've heard. So, yeah, I mean, my own mind, and again, this is just in my own mind, I'm trying to hope he's back for at least a League Cup against Chelsea. That would be huge. We're still, of course, trying to figure out if Mo might be available for selection for Saturday for Brentford. Hopefully he can. He's starting to do some bits. But yeah, look, it's about trying to just get these players back from injury now. You know, Thiago's on the sidelines again. We still have no real information on Stefan and what's going on there. So it's been tough. But I'm excited to see Conor Bradley back as well when he comes back, and it's going to be an interesting call for Jurgen to see whether he goes with Conor Bradley at right back or he continues to play Trent there. What did you think about Jude's brother, who's one playing the Championship? Yes, he's playing all right, Henry, from what I'm able to see. The goal he scored was very good, but there's a lot of chatter as well that he could follow his brother over to Madrid. Can you push to do an interview with FSG while in Boston? I'm sure that podcast would break the internet. Now, I don't know if we have asked or not, but we did apply for an interview with Virgil van Dijk with the club. And to be fair, the club got back to us. They weren't able to give us the interview, but you know, I respect that the club got back to us. I'm not sure if we've made that request for John W. Henry or FSG or not. I have a feeling we may have, but it certainly would be something I'd love to sit down and interview somebody from FSG about the football club. Yes, I think I'd surprise a few because I know people just think I'm a loudmouth, but I like to think I'm quite intelligent. So yeah, I'd certainly be up for it. Luke Littler hit a 9-darter today. Kid's just unbelievable. He's just unbelievable. I don't know what else to say. Littler's just incredible. Just a prodigious young talent. You should make a book and it could be about the journey of Anfield Agenda. It would be cool if you could read it. So, I've said this before. I will be writing my life story. Not for anything. Just for a cathartic experience for me. Because I feel like it'll be good therapy. But I've been holding off on talking about my life really properly. Because I always had this vision of maybe getting that break of going on to the happy hour and speaking with Jack, mate, and the lads about it. But so far, no love from the happy hour. So, yeah, look, I've got a story to tell. I do. And a story I think will help a lot of people. Because it helped me. So, yeah, someday we'll get to that point. Whether it's on a podcast or whether it's a written thing for myself just for a cathartic experience, I will lay it all out on the line at some point. More so just so I want to give people an understanding of why I am the way I am and what makes me me. It's not that I think I'm brilliant or anything like that, but I genuinely think it could help people because nobody was there to help me outside of my wife, and I had to figure it out for myself, which was tough after everything that happened in my life. But hey ho, I'm here and I'm healthy and I'm with you guys and I'm proud and I've got a great family and a future. And I didn't think I'd have all of that more than 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. Craig, do you think if Darwin finishes all his chances, he's the best striker in the world? Yeah. I know that's a big statement, but yeah. Look, if Darwin start finishing 50% of his chances, imagine the numbers the dude would be racking up. It wouldn't even. I don't even think it'd be a debate. I think it would just be Darwin is the best striker in world football at that point, but he isn't. And he's got to find that consistency because we'd never accuse him of not working or, trying. He's a real grafter. He just needs to hone that last little bit of finishing, and then, wow, we'd have an unbelievable player. What else we got? From the bits you give today, your story would be amazing to hear. Thank you, Niall. It's I like to think of it as just somebody who refused to give up because what was the alternative? That's why I'm a very competitive person. Whether it's against myself or whether it's against a situation, I don't like to lose or give up. So the way I looked at my life was, well, you either die, which is what you were looking at, or you get up off your arse and you fight and you figure it out bit by bit, day by day. You'll get there. Still getting there, but we're in a lot better place. Who's the best Premier League player this season so far, Craig? For me, it has to be Nunez or Rice. It's a good question. Very good question. Who's the best player so far in the season? I think Declan Rice is deservedly in that conversation. I think Saliba deserves to be in the conversation. I'd probably give it to Declan Rice, if I'm being honest. I would. I think the impact he's had on Arsenal this season has been incredible. Other teams, we have players like Trent, who's had patches this season where he's been absolutely phenomenal. Verge has had levels of consistency at periods this season that, it's been nice to see again. Alisson can't go without a mention either. I know he doesn't get enough love throughout the Premier League, but Alisson's had some huge moments for us this season. De Bruyne is going to have a big part to play, I'm sure, as well, for Manchester City and in the Premier League title race between now and the end of the campaign. You can't ignore the work that, although he's been injured, Maddison, the impact he's had on that Spurs team when he's been back and available for them as well. There's lots, no real one super standout performer for me though this season. There's no obvious candidate for a Premier League player of the season off the top of my head. If an offer came in for Costas, would you take it? What would his value be? Yes, I would. 100% I would take it. And what would his value be? Oh God. Somewhere between 15 25 is where my head's at on evaluation. If I remember correctly, I think we paid about 11 million when we bought him from Olympiacos, if my memory is right. So yeah, somewhere between 15 and 25 is probably where I'd be at for him, realistically. Probably higher than 50, maybe 20 to 25. If Salah leaves, will Liverpool be strong without them? The last game without Salah, we look good. We're going to have to find a way. We've had to find a way while he's been at the AFCON. So if he leaves and we need to find somebody to come into the squad, I'm sure we'll do it. But whatever happens, whenever Mo leaves, it is going to be difficult because his numbers have spoken for themselves over the last 5, 6, 7 years. So I just think this summer feels like a watershed moment for him at Liverpool. We've been doing well without him, but we do need him. Absolutely. Like, if you said to me going into the Brentford game on Saturday, do I want Mo in that team? Absolutely, I do. 100%. Bring Leon Bailey in. He's too injury prone, mate. Leon Bailey picks up a lot of muscle knocks and strains, but he is really good when he's on form. Who do you think has been our most improved player this season? Or important player. Alisson, for me. I think, yeah, Alisson or Van Dijk would probably be my answer for our most important player this season. Gomez is a good shout as well, though. I don't know, I can't look past Alisson. I can't. I think we're so blessed to have him as our goalkeeper. You know, I'm at the point where when someone's through on goal one-on-one with Alisson, I'm expecting him to miss. You know, that's the best compliment I can give him. I felt he was really unlucky with the goal Saka scored because obviously he made the save from the one-on-one with what's his name? Havertz, and then the ball rebounded to Saka, who was in the right place, you know, credit to Saka, but you just know how good the dude is one-on-one. You know, it has to be pretty damn good to beat him. We should bring in Lamine Yamal if Mo leaves. Well, I can't remember the last time we did any business with Barcelona with regards to buying from them, so it would be a real change of pace. Craig, if we don't get Alonso, who would you take, De Zerbi or who? If we don't get Alonso, who would I take? I don't know about De Zerbi. I don't know if he has the appeal, the pulling power. I think we'd enjoy the football, but don't want another German coach. Don't want the likes of a Conte, Mourinho. Honestly, in an ideal dream scenario, Ancelotti, probably. But that's not going to happen, of course, because he's in a job at Real Madrid. I think Liverpool got it right the last time when they had Carlo Ancelotti and Jurgen as the two options. I think they were the two best candidates, and I think, you know, we went for the right one. But I think if we had have gone for Carlo Ancelotti, we still would have had some interesting times ahead of us. So I don't know. There isn't really another standout candidate for me. It is Alonso. That's just the one. He's just the one that makes sense to me. Blighty, thank you for gifting a membership, mate. You're very kind. Are we in the market for a new moderator? Not at the moment. I don't think we need one, to be fair. Will Trent be a Liverpool legend? Yes, of course. But hopefully that status increases over the next 5 years or so. So hopefully, yes, he'll go down as a captain at one point. I would imagine he's next in line after Virg. Who's your ideal Salah replacement? I don't really have an ideal one. We've talked about this before. You can look at Bowen. You can look at Zubamendi. You can look at Bakayoko. You can look at Pedro Neto. Chiesa. There are options, but nobody that I like to use the phrase replacement, because I don't think one person's going to be able to replicate the impact Mo has had. So I think it'll have to be on the whole attacking unit to do it. Right, my friends, I'm going to how come no one's mentioning Rafa? Because much like Jose Mourinho, I think football and the style that Rafa played has gone, passed by a bit. Don't feel it be the right style of football. And, you know, as good as Rafa was, it wasn't enjoyable a lot of the time to watch some of those performances, but they were very solid defensively. So look, I'm going to go, my friends, and I will see you back at 8:30 for tonight's late night agenda, where we'll go through all the news in more detail and, of course, give you an update if anything should happen between now and then. But until then, appreciate you guys dropping in. Really does mean a lot. Don't forget to drop a like on the stream. Please do hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you later on this evening. Much love, my friends. Bye-bye.